Hey guys, Alex here. Today in this video, we're going to go over who are some of the most successful people of all time and who are some of the most successful people currently and their net worth and what do they do and what college degree did they choose? What college degree did they graduate with? Because a lot of you guys wonder like, hey, I want to graduate college and become successful. And that's what my channel is about. You guys graduating college and then becoming financially successful. I want all of you to become financially stable and financially successful. So the original idea of this video was take like 10 people of whoever, like 10 successful people in like whatever degree they graduated in to be like, hey, this degree ended up very successful for this person. However, what I've realized in my research is, not everybody graduates college and they're still very successful. So instead of, I don't want to like do false advertising. So I want to show you that like half of this list, they did not graduate college. Now, I still highly recommend you graduate college. I still highly recommend that you get a degree. But at the same time, even people without a degree can become very successful. Now, to be successful without a degree, you need quite a bit of things. One, you need to start a business. Two, you need to have a product that you make, whether it's an app or a website or something physical, actually, like just some kind of product, right? It could be a physical business too. It doesn't have to be a digital business. So start a business and have a product. It could be a coffee shop and the product is coffee, right? It could be anything. 3 would be know how to market. 4 would be networking. You need to have connections. 5 would be luck. A lot of luck is involved in these things. Even the most successful people of all time, if they're even a little bit of humbleness, like a little bit of humble, they will tell you a lot of luck is also involved, right? I've had some success in my life, and I know a lot of luck was attributed to that as well. Sometimes you need things just to fall the right way. I'm not saying it's all luck. Luck is a very it's part of it, right? Whether it's 5%, 25%, luck's part of it. So you do need some luck on your side, and that's just part of life. But let's get into the video, and we're going to go over 8 people today. Half of them have college degrees, and I'm going to tell you what their degree was. And then the other half is going to be people that did not finish their bachelor degree. How are they a success? And what degree were they doing in college? So let's get into it right now. So the first person on the list is Elon Musk, one of the most successful people that we've ever known. Net worth $430 billion. Yeah, you heard that correctly. $430 billion. That is literally crazy, okay? Like most of us cannot even fathom how much money that is. His bachelor degrees were, he had a bachelor degree in physics and a bachelor degree in economics. So he did have a science degree, basically an engineering degree, and a business degree in economics, which is also probably the most technical business degree. So 2 very good bachelor degrees. And he used both of these bachelor degrees in his professional life, right? Physics, there's a lot of crossover to, because in physics, you're going to take some programming classes and you're going to take a lot of engineering style courses. And obviously, those are very helpful in building a big tech business. So the physics degree was very important. And the economics degree, Elon Musk is one of the most successful businessmen of all time. And obviously economics certainly helps with that. So 2 great degrees by Elon, one of the most successful men that have been on the planet basically. And he has 2 big time companies, which is Tesla. We all know Tesla. He's the CEO and founder, or at least the CEO of that company. I'd have to double check my facts. I think he did buy Tesla from somebody else when it was very, very small. I don't know if he's necessarily the founder, but he is the CEO and he is the one who made Tesla huge, right? And then the other company is SpaceX. I do like SpaceX. I like any kind of space company. I think we should all be pouring money into that, the government, billionaires, etc. We should be pouring money into space travel and trying to expand our knowledge of space and trying to further explore this universe. I think that's something that we should be doing as humankind, as mankind. So I like that he's doing that with SpaceX. I like that Jeff Bezos is doing that with his space company as well. I think all billionaires should be investing in like space travel and discovering more mysteries of space, right? I think as the human race, we should all be trying to figure that out more, in my opinion. We're just a grain of sand in this universe. However, not to get off topic here, once again, Elon Musk, one of the most successful entrepreneurs in history, and he had a bachelor's degree in physics and economics. So now we will do, so we're going to do degree, no degree, degree, no degree, and that's how we're going to kind of pattern this video. So Bill Gates is one of the most famous people of all time without a degree that was successful. So when we think of people that are like billionaires without a college degree, there's two that always instantly come to mind. Number one, in this day and age, we think of Mark Zuckerberg. And the second person we think of is Bill Gates. Although before Facebook and all of that, the number one person we always thought of who was a college dropout and became a billionaire and super wealthy is Bill Gates. So Bill Gates' net worth is $107 billion. He does not have a degree. He was in Harvard. I would have to double check that, but I'm pretty sure he was a Harvard dropout, just like Zuckerberg, actually. So he was majoring in computer science, and he had a minor, I believe, in mathematics. So a major in computer science and minor in mathematics. And I think he was deep into his college degree. So he was already like very deep into it. He decided to drop out because Microsoft Windows, the Windows product, was about to take off really big. It was already taking off. So he knew he had something extremely special, and this was even more important than college, because if you have a product that's literally like going to take off to the moon and can make you a millionaire, billionaire, etc., then of course, I'm not going to lie to you guys, that should be more of a priority than graduating college if you are really confident in that product and that product looks like it's about to take off. So I always recommend to like finish college and graduate. But once again, if your product has momentum, if your business has momentum and it's about to, just rocket to huge popularity and huge sales, like you really got something, then I think that does take more priority than finishing your college degree. Because you can always go back to college and finish too if you wanted to. The whole point of college is graduating and making money, right? So if you're about to make money without a college degree, then you could put that on hold and try to focus on your business. So, and capitalize off the momentum. But to get back to Bill Gates, Windows is one of the most revolutionary products that has ever released. It changed computers for the better. Really, like the whole thing between Bill Gates and Steve Cook back in the day, I think this was all the way back in the late 80s. I've seen some films on it, and yeah, like that competition right there, and Bill Gates eventually releasing Windows is how we know computers today. We know computers today by graphic interfaces, like when Windows first launched. And now we still have Windows and we have macOS, and macOS is currently my favorite. And we have Linux, and like I said, there's other operating systems, but when we think of like OG operating systems, we think Windows. Right? Like my first operating system was Windows 98, although I did toy around with Windows 95, which was my mom's computer. But overall, like Windows 98 was like my first operating system. Yes, I am that old guy, sorry. But Windows 98 was cool, very old school graphic interface. And then you have Windows XP that came after that. And Windows XP is probably my favorite operating system of all time. Pretty nostalgic. But overall, like Windows XP, I thought it had a great graphic interface, worked really well. The thing about XP is you always had to stay on top of the security updates because you can easily get hacked on XP. And I was hacked on XP a couple different times. But like the straight up Matrix stuff, like the thing pops up on your screen, like hello, like that happened to me a couple times. But overall, like I still love Windows XP, favorite operating system all time, with macOS being a close second, like today's macOS, not the old school macOS. So, but anyways, Bill Gates, one of the most successful people of all time, no college degree. It shows you that, if you run your own business and, you find some investors and you have a good product, anybody can be successful. You don't necessarily need a college degree. Although his computer science background and his mathematics background from Harvard certainly helped. So now we have Tim Cook. Most of you know who Tim Cook is. If you don't, you probably live under a rock, and there's nothing wrong with that. But Tim Cook is the CEO of Apple. So we think of famous CEOs today. We think Elon Musk. We think Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple. We think of the Netflix CEO. We think of, there's lots of famous CEOs currently today. So Tim Cook, net worth $2.5 billion, and his degrees were a Bachelor of Science in Industrial Engineering, and he had an MBA as well. So he had an engineering bachelor's and an MBA master's. And a lot of times CEOs or chief officers will do that combination. They'll do like a computer science or engineering bachelor's and then put on an MBA as well, or some kind of business master's. So a lot of them do take that path. It's also a great way to become a product manager, like put on a computer science bachelor's and then like a MBA. That's a great path to becoming a product manager as well, which is a great job. But overall, like Tim Cook, Apple has come so far, especially with Tim Cook as the CEO, and they have made some revolutionary products. You guys know I am a huge Apple fan. I have a few iOS apps. One of them is on the iOS App Store, UniBoost, shameless plug here, but my channel is about promoting my product and graduating college fast and other things. So, but I love Apple. I love programming in Apple. I love iOS. I think iOS is the best operating system of all time, at least for phones, that is. And I love the ecosystem. I'm a big fan of everything Apple has done. And I will say, yes, like 10 years ago, I was an Apple, hater. So I would highly recommend you guys to actually try an iPhone, actually try a Mac computer. And after a few weeks, I think you'll fall in love with it. But overall, like to get back to Tim Cook, one of the most famous CEOs today, engineering bachelor's, MBA masters, a lot of great ideas, runs the company really well. So Tim Cook, industrial engineering, any engineering degree, guys, for the bachelor level is great. So I've always told that to you guys. Computer science or any engineering bachelor's is going to help you be successful. And then your master's can be another engineering degree. It could be a business degree. There's so many different masters you can put on. You can do the same skill set, different skill set, etc. I'm going to try to get through these a little faster because this video is on pace to be like 35 minutes. So, and now we have Mark Zuckerberg. So a lot of you have seen, most of you have used Facebook or have Facebook. Like Mark Zuckerberg's product has gotten so famous that almost like everybody in the world, I feel like, has Facebook, especially in like first world countries. So Facebook just is one of the craziest stories of all time of just shooting to insane popularity by like word of mouth, etc., and just almost everybody having one. Like back in the day, you had MySpace, which was also extremely popular, but it never reached the insane word of mouth popularity as Facebook did. So Facebook just went on a crazy popularity run. And now Facebook is established as like one of the most popular products of all time. So one of the most popular social products in history. So Mark Zuckerberg does not have a college degree. So he was also a Harvard dropout like Bill Gates. Now he dropped out, I believe, in his sophomore year, so pretty early to work on Facebook. So he dropped out his sophomore year, and I believe he was double majoring in computer science and psychology. And I think, his psychology courses and his love for psychology, I think, has made him a great businessman. Because honestly, business, a lot of it is psychology, especially the marketing aspect. People can take marketing classes and get a marketing degree all they want, and some of them could still suck at marketing. What makes you great at marketing is understanding psychology. If you understand psychology really well, you understand how the human brain works. And Mark does. Mark really understands the psychology aspect of business and psychology in general. Like I would even say he's even better at psychology than he is an engineer, but he's an excellent engineer as well. And like I said, those two combos I think has made him really successful. Because when I think of Mark Zuckerberg, I know he's a great engineer. You know, he created Facebook and all that. But when I think of Zuckerberg, I think of one of the best businessmen of all time, especially the psychology aspect. So Mark is another exceptional example of you do not need a college degree to be successful. As I told you guys before, yes, a college degree is recommended. I think everybody should graduate college degree. But if you have a product that is really catching fire and you really believe in, you can always put college on hold and really see if that product and see if that business takes off. So Mark knew what he had at Facebook. It was gaining crazy popularity. And at that point, you have to realize trying to capitalize off that momentum is more important than actually finishing your degree at that time. I 100% agree with that, right? You have something that could possibly make you millions or billions, although I'm sure he wasn't thinking about billions at the time. You know, when you got like a hot product like that, you're just thinking like millions. You know, your billions are the furthest thing from your mind. So Mark made Facebook along with some other people, but Facebook, obviously one of the most popular products of all time, and Mark understands psychology very well. And Mark also really thinks outside the box, and this is one thing I actually like about him. So Meta, right? Meta sounds like a really awesome name, and they had the whole metaverse idea. I don't know if they've abandoned that entirely, but I actually really like the thinking outside the box concept of the metaverse, right? I think there's two things that are going to get wildly popular over the next hundreds of years. One of those is AI. Like we'll have full AI robots walking around. They're going to have super intelligence at some point in the next several hundred years, like Westworld. There will be AI walking around fully conscious. I mean, consciousness is up for debate of what consciousness actually is, but there will be AI walking around extremely intelligent. Okay, people are going to have AI boyfriends and girlfriends and all that, 100% guaranteed. So that's one thing. And then the other thing is virtual reality. Virtual reality is going to get huge. Like video games times 100 is what virtual reality is going to be. So having like properties for sale in the metaverse and having the metaverse in general was kind of a genius concept. So I do like Mark's thinking outside the box. I think kind of the same way he does. Although I've, nowhere near his success, like not even 0.1%. So, but Mark, great businessman, proof you don't need a college degree to get further in life. You can always make something yourself and grind it out. So the next on the list is Warren Buffett. This is some people's favorite entrepreneur of all time, Warren Buffett. Like famous, wealthy individual. He is very genius at what he did, great in the stock market, really genius in business and finance, and just a really smart guy who really understands basically how to make money, how the stock markets work, how business works. Just a really genius guy at just making money in general. Overall, he had a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration and a Master of Science in Economics. So those were his 2 degrees. And like I said, he understands economics very well, understands business and finance very well. Warren Buffett, he's the OG, the original guy we know when it comes to making a ton of money. Like before Bill Gates, before Elon, before Jeff Bezos, before all these guys, Warren Buffett was always the name we've heard of. And that's because he made a ton of money and he didn't exactly have like this crazy business. He did it, through finance and through the market and things like that. So he is the pioneer of that and maybe the smartest person on the planet when it comes to financial trading and overall business and other aspects. So I respect Warren Buffett a lot, although I do not know as much about Warren Buffett's backstory as others do. So I will keep this one short and move on to the next one. So the next one is one of my favorite stories, which is Ted Sarandos. So he actually doesn't have a college degree either. His net worth is 170 to 325 billion dollars. A lot of money. So you might be surprised that he actually doesn't have a college degree. And yes, when you get hired as a chief executive officer, usually they look for a college degree. The thing is, he was not hired as a chief executive officer. He started way back in, I believe, in 1999 or 2000. I think in 2000 for Netflix. And I remember reading this story quite extensively, but it's been a while. And he started as a DVD buyer. So basically, he worked his way up through the company. And he was so good at, DVD buying, and he probably networked in the company and had a lot of great ideas. He eventually got promoted all the way up to co-CEO. So when you're already in a company, guys, if you're doing an exceptional job and you're also networking in the company and you have some great ideas and you're helping the company grow, college degrees don't matter at that point. The most successful people in the company are going to rise to the top. So like if a company is looking for like an outside CEO without like promoting within, then yes, a college degree is definitely going to be a requirement. But if you're promoting within, then a college degree is not really it's not going to matter. So Ted is a really fascinating story. Like Netflix in general, just to like make this about Netflix, the company, it's one of my favorite stories of all time. Like this was, obviously digital is the future, right? Like we're trying to like get rid of physical everything, and digital is kind of becoming that future. And I have very vivid memories of Blockbuster as a kid. I loved Blockbuster. But at the same time, I remember Netflix back in like 2001, 2002, where it was a DVD mail-in service. And I always saw it in the paper. I always saw it in magazines. I always saw it in I saw it on the internet. I still remember their old school website. I love the internet back from like 2001, 2002. It's my favorite internet era of all time is like 1999 to 2004. I love it, especially like 2001 to 2002. I just feel like there's a lot of old school retro looking sites that looked really fantastic, and Netflix was actually one of them. I still remember like the silver bar. I still remember the Netflix at the top. I still have very vivid memories of their website. I was never a customer of Netflix. I did try Blockbuster's DVD mail-in service, which I thought was really cool. I thought this was like, wow, this is the future. The DVD mail-in service is like the future. And little did we know, streaming is actually the future. So Netflix, the pioneers of streaming, a lot of companies back then, a lot of technology giants, a lot of people thought there's no way streaming service can be the future because it uses too much bandwidth and it's not realistic and blah, blah, blah. But it just shows you anything is possible as technology advances. One of my funnest facts of all time is Blockbuster could have bought Netflix for $50 million. Yeah, they could have bought Netflix for $50 million, guys. And I'll have another fun story, which is Yahoo could have bought Google for $1 million. Yeah, for $1 million. That's another fun story too. Maybe I'll cover these stories in future videos. Maybe I'll turn my channel into like covering business stories because I love reading these, and I love reading these, and I love talking about them because they're very fascinating, right? Now, obviously, in hindsight, Yahoo definitely wishes they would have made that purchase. In hindsight, Blockbuster definitely wishes they would have made that purchase, right? But there's also a chance that Blockbuster could have just ran Netflix into the ground. There's also a chance that Yahoo could have ran Google into the ground, especially because Yahoo just ran every company they bought into the ground. Although I did like Yahoo. But overall, like one of the best stories of all time is Netflix. They really pioneered the future of TV, the future of movies, the future of entertainment. Like when we think about watching something, we think Netflix. Like Netflix has become bigger than cable. Like it literally is beyond cable. Netflix is the cream of the crop when we think of entertainment, when we think of watching something. It is Netflix. It is like not just a company anymore. It's not just a technology innovation anymore. It has become a cultural phenomenon. So Netflix has become huge. They are like, I also heard they're a great company to work for. Like, I've talked to a lot of other engineers who have worked for big companies. And the one they always love to work for the most is Netflix. So I guess Netflix has a great work culture. Obviously, I've never worked there. Maybe one day, never say never. But I've heard they have a great work culture. And like a lot of the engineering people I talk to say it's a great company to work for. So overall, Netflix, a great story. And obviously, Ted has done a great job over there. So now we get into one everybody knows as well. And I apologize for this video going on so long. Like I said, all my videos are unscripted, guys, and I just kind of talk, and the video ends when it ends. So ideally, this should be under 20 minutes. But if you guys are enjoying the video, hopefully you're still with me. But Jeff Bezos, net worth $256 billion. His bachelor degree is in electrical engineering and computer science. That doesn't mean he double majored, and that does not mean he has 2 bachelor degrees. So a lot of big schools will, instead of calling their degree electrical engineering or computer science, they just call it one degree, electrical engineering and computer science, since there's a lot of crossover between those 2 degrees. Princeton does this, which is where I think Bezos graduated from. And then all of the University of Californias do this as well. They call it electrical engineering and computer science instead of one or the other, which I think is really good. And you can market it as either or if you want to. So overall, Jeff Bezos is one of the most successful entrepreneurs of all time. Amazon started in the 90s. I'd have to research to check what year it actually was. I think it was around like 95, like right when the internet boom started. He probably coded the original Amazon website himself, I'm thinking. I do remember reading a lot about the original Amazon and Jeff Bezos story where, I think it was just like him and his wife. And like I said, they had this little website, and you can place an order, I think either on the website, or you can like send in an order in the mail, like a request with like a money order or whatever, or even like I think I even read something like you could send cash or something, and like he'll send you the book, right? So it's like this very old school process, and I don't even think he had employees, and like it was just him, and he was grinding it out, like working on this like 16 hours a day. And like if you want to make a company work, guys, it's a time investment. You got to love it, or at least if you don't love it, you got to at least keep up the grind. These guys are working 16, 20 hours a day. Like it's no lie, 16, 20 hours a day, 7 days a week. When you become an entrepreneur, yes, you are free of a boss, which is great. Like we all, part of us, one of the reasons we want to become an entrepreneur is we've had toxic bosses in our life, and perhaps we don't believe in that certain company's vision, etc. Right? So it's like, what? We're going to give entrepreneurship a shot because we want to make real money and not have to deal with the risk of having a boss we don't like. So, Jeff Bezos, other entrepreneurs, it really is a lot more hours. You get the benefit of not having a boss, but you're going to work way more. And that's just kind of the reality of it. It's your own schedule, but you're always on the clock. But anyways, Jeff Bezos, there's many pictures of him back in the 90s in his little office. Amazon was just a little office back then in Seattle, and he just grinded it out. So Jeff Bezos, a lot of respect to him. So the final person on this list is the one you might not have heard of. So Melanie Perkins, who is the founder and CEO of Canva. So now you know what Canva is. Every single person has heard of Canva. Her net worth is $8 billion. And to my knowledge, I can't say this with certainty, but I believe she did not graduate with a degree. I believe she was studying commerce and she was studying communications. And then she worked on Canva during, her college time, and it was really, really taking off. So as I said before with like Bill Gates and Zuckerberg, if you really got a product that's catching fire and has huge potential, you should probably focus on that product, right? You can always go back to school later. School's not going away. So, but I'm saying like it's got to be a good product, and it's got to be catching a lot of steam for you to like drop out of college, in my opinion. I recommend you guys all graduate college, but I'm also a realist that if you got a product that's catching fire, capitalize off that momentum. Focus on that, okay? You only get 1 or 2 chances in life to really make it as like a millionaire or billionaire. So if one of those chances pops up, you take advantage of it. So Melanie Perkins is one of my favorite stories. I'm not like a huge Canva user, but I know a lot of people that love Canva, especially some women entrepreneurs, and overall just like so many people love Canva, and it's a great business and it's a great product. Just a really good, successful story. And I remember reading on this one where it really is like a humble, out of nowhere type of beginning, right? Like she did not expect Canva to gain anywhere near this popularity. Like nobody thought it was going to turn into this crazy big business. It was just kind of like random, right? It's like her passion project, trying to make some, obviously you're trying to make some extra money. You're trying to build something, but you have no idea it was going to catch like this level of popularity. Like Canva just caught fire. But overall, like it's one of my favorite stories if you actually go read on it. I love reading how all these companies started. Not all of them are the greatest story, but some of them are really great. Like the 8 on this list, right, are pretty fascinating. I love reading about entrepreneurship and how these people made it and how their companies made it. So it's one of my hobbies and one of my favorite things. Like I've thought about like starting a podcast on interviewing like successful CEOs and successful stories and things like that. But overall, it's just one of my favorite things to do. And so Melanie Perkins, Canva CEO, founder, never actually graduated college, to my knowledge. I could be wrong on that. But overall, very successful entrepreneur, very successful company, $8 billion. I mean, that's generational wealth, multiple generations, like forever generations, So props to her, props to Canva. Like I said, I'm not a big Canva user myself, but like great product, great company. And I definitely love their vision. And like I said, one of the reasons I chose her instead of like some random other CEO on this list, because the other 7 people on this list are extremely well known, right? I wanted to pick at least like one, like not as well known compared to those 7. And I could have chosen a lot of different CEOs and founders. And I chose Melanie because I really like Canva's story and how it just started as like this very small organic thing that just caught fire. And I believe she's from Australia as well. So just a really cool story, and you guys can read up on it. And overall, like read up on all 8 of these stories, and it just shows you whether you get a college degree or you don't get a college degree, you can become a successful entrepreneur. You can get a college degree and become successful and get a job, right? And that's kind of what I preach on my channel is that. But overall, you don't have to take that path. If you become an engineer or a businessman and you got a product, you can take that product very far if you know what you're doing. Sure, you need a little bit of luck, of course, but if you are good at engineering, you're good at marketing, most people on this list are good at engineering and marketing. Basically, you got to be good at both, right? Because you need a product, but without marketing, your product's useless, right? So overall, I hope you guys enjoyed the video today. And like I said, this went on really, really way too long, but my videos are not scripted. And I just kind of talk until the video's over. So, but overall, hope you guys enjoyed it. 8 wealthy people and what degrees they did, if any, or what they studied before they dropped out. So she studied commerce and communications. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Please like, subscribe, comment. If you want to figure out how to get a bachelor's degree in like a year or less, I teach you how to do that on my website, majormash.com, and my iOS app, UniBoost. So check those out. Thank you so much. Please take care.